New York City Mayor Eric Adams blasting Black Lives Matter for being silent and not protesting rising shootings and murders that have impacted the African-American community. Watch.
If Black Lives Matters, then the thousands of people I saw on the street when Floyd was murdered should be on the street right now stating that the lives of these Black children that are dying every night matters. We can't be hypocrites.
Democrats have been trying to pivot away from defund the police and embrace law and order as rising crime becomes a huge issue in the midterms. Just look at this insane scene in Los Angeles. A woman chased down after leaving a jewelry store, hit by a car, the thieves making off with her watch. Police say street gangs have been targeting residents in wealthy areas. Does the mayor have a point here, Lawrence? And are we seeing blatant hypocrisy play out in communities that are not adequately protected?
I mean, the mayor's just saying what Black people have been saying for a while now. To his credit, he has been critical of Black Lives Matter before. But let's be very clear of who was funding Black Lives Matter, because it was not Black people that was funding Black Lives Matter. It was white corporations and white people funding them because they didn't want to do the work in the community. Black people said, we just want equal justice under the law. In return, people supported the organization when we never really supported the organization. They promised $50 billion to the organization. Now you got Patrisse Cullors going out there saying that the IRS is targeting them when we know they've gone after the Tea Party and every other group. I just think that there's a lesson to be learned about Black Lives, because I think the organization is officially dead right now. They took the theme of what Black people were feeling and turned it into their own little money cash cow. I think that this is the end for them. And I think it should be a lesson to people. Do the work. Don't think you can just cut a check and somehow things are just going to disappear.
All right, but how do you keep kids safe?
Well, you got to support your law enforcement. My criticism is, why would you even call them out? You're asking charity and help from a Ponzi scam. And we all know what it is. They're not going to help anyone. They help themselves. And then you're going to see when they go to jail, it's not going to be brothers and sisters across the country having to turn checks back in or school books and computers back in that they bought and didn't do their taxes on. No, they're going to be auctioning off their mansions, their cars, their planes, because it was the ugliest part of any culture group, not just Blacks. Whites got to deal with it too. Crazy. They say we're here for the people, and they're there to load their pockets and move their own agendas at the expense of everyone else. So he shouldn't even wasted his time mentioning Black Lives Matter, because they've never come out to support Black-on-Black crime, to support poverty, to support brothers who can't afford lawyers. They've never done that. The only time they've come out is when you have a white cop and a Black suspect in an issue that goes wrong, because that gets attention, that gets super elitists to write checks, and that gives them the right to do and say anything. And that's the only time they come out, period, because it's a good way, it's a good hustle.
All right, so when will we find our way? Because you had a lot of people in the streets protesting in the summer of 2020. They wanted to make their voices heard. They wanted to do the right thing, and they wanted to be allies. But you also had, with that, the defund the police movement that did so much harm, not only to law enforcement, but the most vulnerable communities when there wasn't as much proactive policing. Now, the president and some moderate Democrats are trying to backtrack on that. And they're trying to say, no, now we need to fund the police. So how do we find our way out of this?
We just listened to Jim Clyburn. Jim Clyburn always understands certainly where the pulse of the Democratic Party is, but really the middle of the country, what turned into to be the Biden coalition, right? The moderate Republicans, the independents, and the Democrats who could come together in agreement on this issue. And he said to people like Representatives Cori Bush and Ilhan Omar, stop talking about these things. It's not even actually what you mean. You know, you're talking about people who represent communities where I guess that's fine for them, but that is not the overwhelming percentage of communities that have a large Black or brown population. And it was really interesting. Pew just released new numbers on the top priority issues for Black Americans. Number one, violence and crime at 17%. Number two, economic issues at 11%. If you look at the numbers for white Americans, it's reversed. We all know that inflation and cost of living, et cetera, are the top priorities there. And the Democrats are sitting here thinking we're heading into a midterms where we could lose up to, some people are projecting up to 60 seats. These are the kinds of issues that on the fence voters are looking for you to pay attention to them about. And black voters, I'm not saying that they're going to go and suddenly support Republicans. Only about 10% ID is Republicans. But it can't make you stay home if you don't feel like...
Why did they support the organization, though? I'm just curious why white companies decided to give their money to these organizations when black people never said that they supported. There was a cause, not the organization. They want to get rid of black men out of the households. I don't understand how you can stand for black men in the street and then want to remove them out of the household.
All right,
I think that there's a
virtue signaling.
Judge Jessica talks about the Biden coalition, which is completely fallen apart. And if you look at the most recent Quinnipiac poll, 26% of Latino respondents support the president. That is an incredibly low number.
Yeah.
So, he's turned his back on a lot of people, including the cops, when he was running for president. Is this the way for him to get out of an incredible slump?
It's too late. It's too late. Biden's not getting out of the slump. I disagree. Clyburn doesn't have an answer. Clyburn never said, don't defund the police. He never said you got to refund the police. Let's be real clear on that. You want to read between the lines, you can do that, but you can't do it here. Number one, there's a difference between the organization and the movement, okay? We all believe in the movement. The organization was a bunch of shysters, okay? We've got Patricia Cullors who bought at least 3 houses. She bought one that was for sale for $3.1 million. She bought it a week later at $2.7 million more for $5.8 million. Who got that $2.7 million? I don't know. She put it in the name of a shell corporation. That famous law firm, the Democrat law firm Perkins Coie, did the shell corporation. She lived in it. She hid it from the Black Lives Matter organization for 19 months, all right? And she didn't let anyone know that she had purchased it. Now, as for Eric Adams, this is the first time I heard this guy talk about black-on-black crime. And, Mayor, it's about time. It's about time you recognize that that is the biggest problem in the criminal justice system. And maybe it's because, as you said, you were up all night, and now you're facing it for real. Everybody assumed because he was a cop and a police captain, he got it. Well, he didn't get it until he finally said it. Number 3, you've got to refund the police because we've got a 60% spike in crime. I don't want to hear about women being almost run over by gangs in Los Angeles, and it's happening here because they're wearing a watch that someone wants, because criminals are emboldened, because Democrats were silent in 2020 during the Black Lives Matter burning of streets and peaceful protests. And now this is what we're left with. And it's time to get back in the straight and narrow. Consequences for criminals, change the cash bail laws, refund the police, and put some organization into law enforcement and let everybody know you cross the line, your ass is going to jail.
Enough said.
All right, Judge.
Hopefully you'll find your passion on this topic at some point, Judge. I'm still very, very hopeful. Hey, guess what? The Fastest is up next.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.